What's up, guys? It's Crash. We are on episode 19 of the Scope. We have a lot to talk about today. I do regret to inform you that it is just me tonight. I am by myself. Oh, I got double audio. Hold on.
Fixed it. Sorry. That's terrible. Fix the audio. Should be good. Sorry. I had to re-add my face cam. This show stinks, and that's what I'm going to start with, guys. This show is terrible. It's always bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My production team, it's bad. I have a terrible production team. They're terrible. And I'm probably going to fire him, to be honest with you. They're terrible. But yeah, as you can tell, I regret to inform you, you guys are stuck with me tonight. It's just me by myself. So we'll be a little bit more interactive with chat. I wonder what the single podcast listener thought about that. I'll have to ask him. I wonder what he thought about that audio. It probably freaked him out. Next week, I don't know if you guys the podcast listener is freaking out right now. True. So yeah, I will be just a little bit more interactive than last week with chat with you guys. Thanks for everyone so much for being here and being part of chat. A couple small announcements to make. First off, dude, last week with Big Fry, how was that? That was awesome. So that was really cool. Special thank you to Big Fry. That was super cool. If you guys see up on the ticker, there is a new membership tier. Shout out Sad Balls for this one. There's a new membership tier for only 99 cents a month instead of $5, because let's face it, guys, I already showed you how shitty this show can be. So yeah, it's a lot cheaper, much cheaper. So 99 cents if you want to become a member. If not, I totally get it. No worries at all. Honestly, guys, out there with the economy right now, I feel like times are tough. Money's hard to come by out there. So yeah, no worries. Yeah, thank you guys for the likes. I super appreciate that. Man, yeah, we're gonna have a damn day today. As you guys can see over on the top right, we are going to talk about patch 0.4.1 for a little bit for Battlefield 2042. I thought it was interesting, the Kotaku article that came out talking about EA pursuing a sale, as well as we got a lot of Warzone 2 information over the last couple weeks, and especially this last week quite a bit. I don't know if you guys saw on my channel that I actually built a Warzone 2 map based on Tom Henderson's article. Talked to Tom a little bit. Looks like I was off in a few areas, but we can definitely take a look at that and more or less use it as kind of a visual guide and talk about a lot of the stuff that's coming to the game as far as mechanics, because it sounds like Warzone is going to change a lot, in my opinion, for the better. But it's going to be really interesting to see how the casual COD community takes some of these changes, because I think they're adding quite a bit of depth and several mechanics to the game. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the ARMA controversy. I like to take things when I see stuff that presents, both sides. And this is one of those that is a really divisive topic and an interesting way to look at stuff. And honestly, with a lot of us rooting for indie developers and indie games in the future, it really could shape how indie studios do business going forward. So I think it's really important to talk about that. And then the World War III stress test, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with that. Some bad and good news with the World War III. There's actually quite a bit to talk about. I wanted to make a standalone video about it, but I didn't get to it. Yeah. What's up, David? Leo, how's it going? HCX or HXC? What's going on? I think that's working. Yeah. Good to see you guys. Rec, what's up, man? Thanks everyone for being here. Heck yeah. So let's one more awesome announcement. I just confirmed before I went live. I don't know if you saw it up on the ticker, the toxic ticker above us. By the way, Buffalo Trace Distillery, your logo would look pretty good right there if you want to sponsor the ticker. I'm just saying, the first gaming channel to be sponsored by bourbon, I mean, somebody's got to do it. I would take that for the team, to be honest with you. The best gamer fuel out there, bourbon. I'm gonna get canceled. Okay, So what I did want to announce is, yeah, the new member tier live, 99 cents, a much more reasonable price for this shitty channel. And then also next week, I did confirm, it just popped up on the ticker. Buff Nerd Gaming is coming on next week. I just confirmed with him. If you guys aren't familiar with him, this is his channel over on YouTube. So check that out if you guys want a little bit of a primer on what we're going to be talking about next week. He does a really good job and brings a lot of news and stuff about different games. And I'm excited to talk to him because I feel like from watching his videos, we'll see when he comes on next week, that he's a lot like me. He likes to play a couple different games. So yeah, he's going to be on next week, a week from today. Buff Nerd Gaming live in studio, you guys. I don't have a studio. One day maybe. Can you imagine, dude? Wow. What if I had a studio with like a desk with stuff all over it and I could, oh man, it'd be wild. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about, and it's probably, I'm gonna be honest with you, just like the influx of players to Battlefield 2042, this is gonna be brief. So let's switch the scene over here, get my production team off their ass, get it together, guys. So yeah, patch 0.4.1. Again, why do you call it that, Crash? Because we're not to 1.0 yet. It says it right there. They fixed a lot of things. Aim assist I'm still seeing feels weird. Again, this is just minor bug fixes and things like that. They did the good things they did here was that they nerfed some of the really annoying specialists and operators that shouldn't be in the game in the first place. So I guess that's good. What I did want to talk about though is, now I've had stuttering and problems playing on PC like the entire time. Like the whole time I've had issues with this. And this was made it worse for like everybody. Sad Balls, welcome to the membership. Enjoy your cigar badge. That's a nice little cigar badge and it makes me want a cigar. One day, guys, the first purchase we make for the channel, we're gonna get a cigar purifier in this room so we can have some big fat stogies while we talk about video games. It's gonna be great one day. I have a lot of dreams. Yeah, so anyway, but as you guys know, when this update came out, I just don't understand how this stuff happens. I don't get it. It came out with a lot of micro stutters and made it incredibly unplayable. You guys can see over here on the Steam charts like what actually happened when the update. And honestly, since this update, it's kind of interesting. It really hasn't recovered, honestly. So yeah, Leo, Buff Nerd has a lot of his goat of content, dude. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. So yeah, it dipped. It didn't really come back after they fixed it. And I just wonder what they do over there for QA. Do they QA test this stuff? Because everyone I talked to, me included, almost everyone had this hitching and issue with it stuttering and stuff like that. And I just wonder how they test some of this stuff. I don't understand how it happens. I feel like other games have issues kind of like this in the AAA space, but just not every single time. I feel, yeah, Justin, next week. I feel like I don't know if you guys feel this too, but I seem like every time there's going to be a Battlefield update, my head instantly goes to, what are they going to break next? Like what are they going to break next? And so I guess we're the future of, and it happens every time something breaks, but this time, credit where it's due, they fixed it really fast, which was good because it was definitely unplayable. And as far as the future of Battlefield 2042, I think a big turning point up or down is going to be next month. They did say that June is going to be season 1. I'm hoping for a lot of content. I'm hoping for specialist rework. They told us well, we're closing in on 2 months ago. They said in a couple weeks we'd start the specialist feedback loop, and they just didn't do it. They didn't come out with the specialist feedback loop like they did. I don't understand. So here's my thing. If something happens where you can't get something done that you said is coming, tell us why, and we'll move on. It's coming in 2 weeks and then radio silence is incredibly unprofessional. I don't ever see that like anywhere else. I don't understand like how we get to that all the time. that there's no specialist feedback on this game. And season 1, as you guys know, as we talked about before, it has to be insane. It has to be really good. I feel like one map and like a specialist and 5 weapons and a battle pass isn't going to cover it. I think we need several maps with the promised map reworks. Those are going to be interesting to see what they change there. And then I feel like they're going to do something cheeky with Portal. This is total speculation and coming up with it out of my butt. But I feel like if they did something like a Metro or Locker or something like that, that they're going to be, that's kind of a cheap way to cash in on nostalgia and get a lot of people back. I feel like with the changes that didn't go over so well with Battlefield 2042, that they caused a massive sentiment of nostalgia across the Battlefield community for that old stuff. And I think they could really cash in on that with Portal. I mean, you can't tell me that bringing stuff like Locker and those iconic maps like that, Metro and stuff, would it at least get people to check it out again. I really think that's something that they're gonna do. It just makes sense to me. I feel like that's just a cheap way to get everybody to come back. So yeah, that's pretty much all that we have to talk about with Battlefield 2042. Again, not a lot going on. They did say early June for season 1, so we should, I mean, that's, and then it's kind of crazy to think about that in the next 2 weeks we're gonna get something. We have to get something from them on season 1. Apparently the specialist feedback loop is just not going to be a thing, and they're going to go right into season 1. So we'll definitely see how that goes. The next thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting, this might be a little bit shorter of an episode this week, guys, since I'm by myself, but I just have a few things to talk about. EA, according to Kotaku, is pursuing a sale. So I thought this was really interesting. You guys know, I mean, we all know, we've all talked about like all the mergers and things that have been going on with Activision and Microsoft, and yeah, just all those big mergers that have been happening lately. One of them that I've been wondering about is, and we've talked about it a little bit on this channel before, is what's going to happen with EA. And so if we look at this article, it's not quite as simple as EA just wants to sell. There's a couple nuances in here that I think are pretty interesting, and it kind of gives some motives as to why they're doing what they're doing. So here is the article. You guys can see, if I zoom in on it, you can see a little bit better, but I highlighted some of the stuff. Essentially it says, and again, guys, this is an article from Kotaku. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, the video game market is consolidating like never before. Don't know if that's good or bad. The Battlefield and FIFA maker, interesting, didn't say Apex here, maker recently pursued a merger with NBC Universal and also held potential acquisition talks with Disney, Apple, and other companies, according to a new report by Puck. And so you can check out that report. I think that one's behind a paywall. But essentially what I thought was interesting, so like the Activision Blizzard one was with Microsoft, which is another entity in the gaming space, right? This one seems like EA is pursuing media companies. So they talked, as we'll see, Disney, Apple, and Amazon. Sources with knowledge of those talks told me. And then several sources familiar with these talks say EA has been persistent on pursuing a sale and has only grown more emboldened in the wake of Microsoft Activision deal. Others say that EA is primarily interested in a merger arrangement. Here you go. That would allow Wilson to remain as CEO of the combined company. So it almost sounds like a takeover kind of a combined company. And it's interesting. I don't know why they're going after like media companies. These are like media and entertainment companies. Again, Disney, Apple, NBC Universal. I guess, I mean, Apple's not really in the gaming space. I think they're talking about like, you know, Apple TV and stuff like that. But it was apparently a deal with NBC Universal that got the farthest along. So like EA combining with NBC and Universal Studios, like I don't know if that's because they want to try to take some of the IPs on screen to TV and make like series and stuff about it, or what. Like I don't. And then just I might be missing something here. Again, I'm just a dumb hick that lives out in the middle of nowhere and plays video games, but I don't understand when it says others say EA is primarily interested in a merger arrangement that would allow Wilson to remain as CEO of the combined company. So a merger really isn't a buyout. It's more of a mutual consolidation of assets, and then Wilson would be in charge of it. So I can't see like NBC Universal saying, yeah, you can come in here and go ahead and we'll merge, and then you can be in charge of everything. That doesn't seem like something they would want to do. But I have noticed, and I think it mentions it in here, I'm not sure. I highlighted it. In an earnings call in February, Andrew Wilson implied the company was focused on making acquisitions rather than being acquired. So that would go more along the lines of like the merger side of things. Buyers report that Wilson approached Disney as recently as March, so just a couple months ago, in pursuit of what sources described as a more meaningful relationship than licensing deals. So as you guys know, the Star Wars and stuff like that. Yeah, really interesting. There's a lot of just stuff and jargon and the rest of it. But yeah, I kind of want to know what you guys think of that. I don't know what that would look like, honestly. In their statements and stuff that EA has put out in their earnings calls, they talk about how they're kind of beating stuff. The bookings are doing well. They're beating their projections, and seems to always be sunshine and roses during those. I know that's how they frame things, and they kind of work the statistics into that into that narrative. So yeah, it sounds like more of a merge if you read this article out than you know, wanting to sell out, because then you're kind of, you know, giving up your company to someone else being in charge, and the merge is not necessarily like that. So it sounds like they want to get bigger. And again, I don't know what this would do for the game. You know, I think a lot of us just how we want to get games, you know, and I don't know what effect this plays on it. I think a lot of these mergers with these larger companies, we're really going to see how it plays out with Blizzard and Activision, but they don't change them very much, right? Like the same studios are going to be working on the same games. Respawn's probably still going to work on Apex. DICE is going to probably work on Battlefield. And stuff like that. So they're going to have their same like Criterion and stuff work on Need for Speed. I doubt a lot will change. Honestly, it might come down to some of the bigger problems we have with these games, and that is the financial practices and, you know, how they generate revenue and microtransactions. So it's gonna be interesting. And Leo has a really good point, like how the way Microsoft let Paramount create the Halo TV series. We could talk about the Halo TV series. I actually just finished it yesterday. Like, yeah, that's really the only thing I could see is like if you had a giant video game studio like Electronic Arts partner with one of these large media outlets, then you would only assume that they would be taking some of their IPs. That is their end goal, right? To take some of their IPs and move into that streaming space, similar to what Paramount did with the Halo series. I don't know what you guys thought of the Halo series. I definitely had mixed reviews, mixed feelings, I would say, on it. They had... I feel like maybe 5 to 8% of it was like what I was excited about. Like the first episode where they had all the fighting was really cool. Like when the Spartans first dropped in, I got amped, man. You could see like all the warhogs and stuff flying around. It felt like Halo. And then it was like, again, like episode 5 or 6 where they had the big battle again. And then the last episode where they went to the Covenant planet and the Brute was there. And all that stuff I thought was super awesome. Other than that, the rest of it was just weird, man. Like it didn't feel like Halo. Like I said, like the other 92%. This is just my opinion, again, guys. So whatever. A lot of people like it. I feel like if it was just a standalone sci-fi story, I would have thought it was pretty good. It just like the 92% of like the character development and the weird relationships and stuff didn't feel like Halo to me. I just kind of wanted some brainless action. I thought the fight scenes were super cool, how they kind of merged real life with like the video game, and they did like the first person view on the finale and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna read chat here and see what you guys think about it. Master Chief was not the Master Chief on. Yeah, he didn't feel very Master Chiefy. The Quan Ha storyline was completely stupid. The Master Chief stuff was better. Yeah, the Quan Ha thing never really saw. It never saw like a conclusion, did it? Like after episode like 5 or whatever, she was just gone. Anyway, I don't want to get into too many spoilers. I'm sorry I didn't say spoilers before. Cancel me. But yeah, I wasn't very impressed with it. There's some weird stuff in there. Again, like I thought the story was cool and stuff. It just, like I said, 90 to 92% of it didn't feel like Halo to me. But there was some cool stuff. That's true, Seth. That's a good way to put it too. They definitely do need character development. But I thought they could have played more like into the conflicts and focused a little bit more on the action. Like I get it, you still have to have character development and stuff like that, but like I don't know, maybe I'm just being dumb. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. All I want to talk about with the EA pursuing the sale. And it sounds more like a merger. That to me sounds like something that it sounds like they're in talks with, but with stuff that's gonna be like that massive of a merger or business acquisition is gonna take a lot of time. I think it'll be, even if something goes through soon, it'll be several years before we would see anything different on our end when in regards to games and how they're gonna play out and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about the Warzone 2 information that came out recently. I'm gonna do a crappy plug for my crappy video. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys saw this. I did a video where I talked about the Warzone 2 map. So essentially this came from an article from Tom Henderson in Xputer, where he and also a drawing where he had bourbon, and then also a drawing from Modern Warfare 2 Ghosts that showed the overall layout of the map. So this is my mock-up you can see on screen of what I thought the Warzone 2 map could look like. And honestly, you guys might recognize that map. That is actually, excuse me, that is actually the Call of Duty mobile map isolated. So that's the COD mobile map. Modern Warfare 2 Ghost posted a mock-up of the actual Warzone 2 map that he's seen, and it matched up with this really closely in regards to the river and also the lake above observatory. So I thought this would make a really good visual aid to take Tom Henderson's stuff that he talked about with the POIs and make a map out of it, because he listed all the POIs. And essentially what it sounds like in a nutshell is that, so you see Quarry Caves, Modern City, Mountain Town, and Airport are all gonna have aspects of like Modern Warfare maps, remastered maps, fan favorite maps built into them. And how he said it in the article was it's going to be recognizable, but they were reworked to fit into the map better. And these are kind of the areas that he talked about. So Quarry is the Quarry map for Modern Warfare 2. Caves is Afghan. The Modern City was High Rise. The Mountain Town was Favela. I don't know how to say that. It's a map in Rainbow Six too, and I say it different every time. If you play both sides of the fence, you're always going to come out on the winning team. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Max said that. Airport is going to be Terminal, and he said there could be other maps, but he didn't know if and where. So then at the top, we have Oasis, Oilfield, and I DM'd Tom to see how close I was, and he said I had some of them off. So this obviously isn't exactly, or probably even that close to what it's going to look like. I tried. The way he said it was sweeping from top left to lower right. So sweeping, I was just putting them in kind of diagonally across the screen as he had them lifted. We see Oasis, Oilfield, the Dam, War Torn, Sierra, Observatory, Marshes, Graveyard, Old Town Fort, and then over in the beach area, I put Harbor, Shipwreck, and Fish Town. So yeah, I hope it's not copy paste BS either, but honestly, this being from COD Mobile, like the river and pond lined up almost perfectly. Let me see it. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick and see what you guys think of that. Interview 2. Yeah, I want to show you, for those of you guys that are here, what I was talking about. Yeah, MV2 OG Ghost. Scroll down. I should have clicked media. But yeah, so he did. Yeah, here's the mock-up that he did. So you guys can see that, see the river running through here and the pond here. And then you click to the one I made and it's like the river here and the pond here. Like it's like straight up. So that's why I thought it was really good. And then also some of the leaks said there were several biomes on the map. Again, this Call of Duty mobile map isolated also has snow, desert, like a muddy looking peninsula, like everything across there. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. How it kind of lined up. And then you guys can see where I sprinkled across the strongholds, and we'll talk a little bit about strongholds and see what you guys think of that. But they are like, I feel like they could be dynamic, kind of like buy stations were. They could be dynamic across the map, so that's why I feel like those could move around. But essentially, and this is what I alluded to earlier about them adding depth and mechanics. It's gonna be weird to see. It's gonna be weird to see how it plays out, to be honest with you, because traditionally, I'll say it. I mean, I like going into Call of Duty sometimes because I don't have to think as much, and I can drink a lot more bourbon sometimes. There's not a lot of in-depth mechanics. I'm not saying there's not a skill gap, because there definitely is movement and aim and stuff like that. Like there's freak Call of Duty players out there. Trust me, when you skill-based matchmaking, you'll run into them. Adding some depth and stuff like that, I don't know how the community is going to take it. So essentially what strongholds are, they're spots on the map. You can decide if you want to take them on or not. It sounds like they're going to be guarded by AI. This sounds like it also fits right into the DMZ, their extraction royale type game mode, where you can go in and do different objectives, fight AI, and when you complete them, you can get rewarded with pro perks, your loadout, and stuff like that. Again, it's probably going to cause a lot of noise. Other people nearby are going to know. They might try to third party you, kill you on your loadout, stuff like that. So there's going to be some risk and reward to that for sure. And then the other things they talked about was that they're going to add vests. So like Blackout had, where you have a vest that holds different number of plates. I personally am not a big fan of that. One of the plate system that's currently in Warzone, I think, is really nice, because you know, when people have full plates, you kind of know what you're up against, right? Like, you know how many shots it's going to take if you get used to a gun. Like, you know how many shots to kill it's going to be. With the different armor types, this happens in, you know, PUBG. It was in Firestorm, which I can talk about a little bit too. I think some of this is ironic that it was already in Firestorm and everyone hated Firestorm. I liked it, but having different types of armor was really weird in Blackout, and a lot of this feels Blackout like, you know, from those days from Treyarch, because you have they had a bunch of different Black Ops maps stitched together on the map, and we're seeing that again. If the rumors are indeed true, this is all alleged and potential information. But yeah, so it feels Blackout like. And then with the armor, I just remember somebody with class 3 armor, man, in Blackout, dude. Oh my gosh, it took so many bullets. And then but that mechanic sounds really similar to what they did in Firestorm, right? Like Firestorm had you could pick up a vest that could hold, well, you started with able to hold 1, and then you could pick up a 2 or 3 plate vest and put the plates in and give yourself 50 health each time, which it sounds like what they're going to do here. There's also going to be a backpack system similar to Tarkov, where it takes up slots. We know that in PUBG it's just overall gross weight. Tarkov, got to play Tetris. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out on a controller. I haven't heard people talking about that. And I'm wondering if some of these rumors and leaks and things that the insiders have seen aren't exclusive to DMZ. I could see more stuff like the vests, the inventory, the strongholds with the AI making a lot more sense in an extraction type game mode. So that's something I'm going to have to look at to see. I'm with your thoughts. I agree. I'm gonna have to see how that plays out, because I could see that being the case. I don't know, especially where they try to go the competitive mode with Warzone quite a lot. It's going to be interesting to have AI and stuff in a competitive mode. They have all those Warzone tournaments. I guess they can probably be disabled in customs. I'm not sure of that, but I'm just saying. And then trying to think, What else they had? Pro perks are coming back. The gunsmith is coming back, so that'll play a part. But yeah, a lot of those mechanics people hated from Firestorm, and they put them in COD, and it's all. I just remember how upset people got that when you killed somebody in Firestorm, all their loot just popped out in a circle around their body, and that happens in Warzone, and no one says anything about it. I just remember. I don't get it, man. I really wish Firestorm would have got some love. They would have upped the player count or shrunk the circle so that it wasn't so boring in the middle. That map was gorgeous and ran really well. So yeah. And what Leo is saying where Raven, or excuse me, Thoughts is saying where Raven kind of killed Warzone. Honestly, I think this is setting the stage for a massive, no pun intended, resurgence when Warzone 2 drops. I think people are getting a lot of nostalgia for Verdansk, for that Modern Warfare vibe. I think people are I think people are kind of over the World War II setting, right? I think people are clamoring for something new. That's why Call of Duty allegedly not having a release in 2023 is going to be really, really interesting. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Hope to see how that plays out. What's up, GT? What's this about the EA buyout? I just joined. You might have to watch it a little bit, but essentially EA is looking for more of a merger where Andrew Wilson is going to stay in charge, and they're talking to essentially media outlets rather than other gaming entities. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, we covered it a little bit earlier. So you can definitely check it out on the VOD if you're interested in that. Yeah. BFE continues to be the underrated masterpiece. Dude, I felt like I was in the minority with that, but I liked Battlefield 5. It was one of the reasons I started doing YouTube to cover Battlefield 2042, because I liked Battlefield 5 quite a bit. Yeah, GT, thanks for being here. So yeah, I think Warzone 2 and what I was talking about with it creating a lot of nostalgia, I think they could do a Verdansk event and get people super hyped. Z-Laner did a tweet today I saw while I was on the toilet. Said, how cool would it be to drop Superstore right now? And the tweet just went nuts. It's like, dude, if you bring back a Verdansk event to get people excited, if you bring that map back, people will absolutely go insane. And then the lead up to dropping off the new map, get people in that Modern Warfare headspace. Like, Warzone's in a low key, like in a kind of a low point right now. People are tired of Caldera, not really liking it. The World War II vibe is off. I feel like that's just my opinion on that one. But you can't say that the player numbers aren't down just from the feeling and the search volume on YouTube and stuff like that. It's setting up for people to be ready for Warzone 2, be ready for Modern Warfare 2. I think it's gonna be really big, and I think Raven's learned a lot. I think Raven is a really good studio, and based on what they said, I put more faith in them too, because I thought it was really cool what they did. If you guys remember, a few months ago, they actually got a lot of creators and news outlets together with the developers, and the developers said, hey guys, we messed up when we made this game. We didn't expect to add other games' weapons into it. It wasn't built that way. So now that they know a little bit about how big Warzone is and could potentially be, they're building it from the ground up to handle expansions and stuff like that a lot better. But I thought it was really cool for them to admit mistakes. I think they've learned a lot. Warzone 3 Reloaded is coming up Wednesday this week. They're making a lot of changes and adding the Serpentine perk where if you're sprinting, you take less damage. That bums me out because I think you're essentially killing snipers. And as a mouse and keyboard player, that's one of the strong points I have, is being a good sniper compared to controller players. And up close, I get pooped on sometimes. Anyway, I could go on about that. But yeah, I think Call of Duty is doing a real good job. Warzone 2 could be really big. DMZ is still a wild card for me. A lot of these things I talk about, and we've seen this with other games in Battlefield 2042, and not even in a bad way, to be honest with you. But some of these things just don't come true when they're leaks, and it happened with Battlefield 5. It's happened with Battlefield 2042 that I'm familiar with. And sometimes some of this stuff they're not putting in there, right? Like, it's stuff that they're talking about, it's stuff that's in development, and it can get scrapped at any time. So I think some of this stuff could fall into that category, because I feel like some of this stuff is getting a little bit complicated to play on controller, honestly. Like, I remember playing PUBG on Xbox when it came out on console. It was the first time I played PUBG, and I was super excited, and then just like learning how to move stuff around in that inventory. But then if you think it's a square slot system, just like it is in Tarkov, like, are you gonna have to like rotate stuff and move it around into the blocks and stuff like that? And if you're trying to fit stuff in your backpack, fit like another vest or something to take your buddy, and then you want to haul a third gun around and maybe some ammo or something, and you're trying to fit that with the fast movement speed of Call of Duty where someone can be on you like quickly, man, I don't know how that's gonna play out. Like that, I don't think that would make very fun gameplay. If you're using a controller, trying to fit this stuff in your backpack and then a team rolls up on you, like, I don't understand like how that would play out. I think that would be pretty rough. So I feel like a lot of these rumors are stuff that, or some of these rumors could be in the works and not come true because they don't fit the vision of Call of Duty with me. Again, DMZ is going to be really interesting to see how they can keep it accessible, which is what Call of Duty is known for. Holy shit, what's up, Big Fry? How's it going, man? I spent the first part of the show saying how awesome was it to have Big Fry last week, man. I super appreciate you, dude. That was a ton of fun, man. Yeah, this week's show, where it's just me, way shittier. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for last week, man. It was awesome, and thank you so much for taking the time to pop in and say, hey, I appreciate it a lot. Shout out Big Fry. Appreciate you, man. It was a ton of fun. So yeah, with Warzone 2, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I just think that backpack system with the controller and the fast movement speed sounds extremely scary. Yeah. And guys, thank you for the comments in the chat. They're awesome. I'm reading all of them, even if I don't address them in the show and stuff. I want to look out for our single podcast listener. All right. Cause he or she can't read these. So I want to make sure that we keep the audio recording fluent for the podcast listener. I love it here. So yeah, anyway, that's my mock-up for the Warzone 2 map. Did a video about it. If you guys want to check it out, it is on this channel. I think, yeah, it's the most recent video I did on the channel. So yeah, a lot more elements from Blackout and stuff like that. Thought says PUBG has the best gunplay at any FPS. It's good. I would almost say Insurgency, but that's a good question. What's the best gunplay? It's a good question. PUBG weirded me out because sometimes I don't understand the ballistics in that. Didn't make any sense to me. The ballistics made zero sense to me in PUBG. The gunplay was, I would say the gunplay is satisfying, like getting kills, controlling the recoil and stuff like that. Hey, no barking. I don't know if you can hear the barking with RTX. I don't know. Shout out NVIDIA. It felt rewarding, but sometimes it also left me scratching my head. Squad, as Big Fry says, is another really good one. Squad's good. And World War 3 is actually pretty good. Yeah, World War 3 feels okay. I would say that. But yeah, I think from the ones I've played, Insurgency and Squad feel good. If you want to go, you want to get really controversial right now? You guys want to get crazy? You want to get wild? I'll tell you. For arcade, like movement and gunplay, oh, this is going to be bad. You guys are all going to leave them to get canceled, but it is what it is. I liked Battlefield 5 mainly because of the movement. I really like the Battlefield 5 movement. The sliding, okay. The sliding was like good because it was a way to move to get to cover, but it wasn't a way to traverse the map, right? There was a cooldown, so you couldn't spam it. Same with crouching, same with leaning. The leaning was like almost perfect. It was a perfect amount. You could use it for cover, but it had a cooldown on it, so it didn't pull a Rainbow Six, right? We don't have a Rainbow Six situation. It had a cooldown, so you couldn't really jiggle peek. I love the movement of Battlefield 5. The gunplay was close. It was close. The random recoil is just like a little tiny, like you get like a sundae, you get like a hot fudge sundae, right? It's got a cherry on top, you're excited, and you get like halfway through it, and then like a fly comes and lands in your Sunday, and that's the random recoil in Battlefield 5. Like, you were so close. Like, what? Why is this here? Why is this here? Damn it. Big Fry says 2019 Modern Warfare had the best all-around gunplay, movement, and feeling for arcade style. Yeah, it was really good. The slide canceling? Did the slide canceling, was that a thing back then? I don't know why slide canceling. This you guys want to talk about boomer mentality? I'll talk about the boomer mentality, and that's slide canceling irritates me. But as a form of moving across the map, just get rid of tac sprint, man. I'm not a huge fan of tac sprint, like having to reset it. But yeah. What's up, Justin? The podcast guys, we have another very special person in chat today. Justin, the podcast listener, is in chat. There he is, dude. There he is, dude. What's up, man? That's awesome. That's right, Clark. You gotta have that dog mentality. We're looking for people with dog mentality. Yeah, David, that's why I call it the boomer mentality. Also, so like, I have like sausage fingers. So this is my phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus. So it's like a bigger phone. Like, look how big my hand is. So like, I have giant ass sausage fingers, and like trying to do that stuff and like Jiggle Peak and Rainbow Six on a keyboard, it makes me upset. Okay, from a fundamental standpoint. All right, it's hard for me to do on a tiny little keyboard. I need to find, you guys remember those jitterbug phones? They used to have commercials on the Weather Channel. Don't ask me why I was watching the Weather Channel. But like a jitterbug phone for old people with huge keys on it so they could see it. I need a keyboard. I need a keyboard with jitterbug keys for people that can't see real good. Dual purpose. I'm also getting old and my eyesight's going. It would be the perfect thing. Maybe someday, guys, the jitterbug phone, David knows what I'm talking about. Someday, guys, we got to get a company together for like geriatric and aging gamers. We're going to make big keyboards so you can see the numbers. We got to make glasses that can help your eyes see better. And I'm telling you, we got to get boomer esports leagues going, guys. We got to get Rainbow Six beer leagues for old men. We got to get search and destroy tournaments for old people. It's going to happen one day. It's got to happen. As we get older, we got to have a place to compete against people who also suffer from the illness of age. It'll happen one day. The Thought says the Razer Jitterbug Special Crash Edition keyboard. One day, guys. One day, guys, it's gonna happen. And anyway, to the point of slide canceling, to put a final point on it. That's why I thought Battlefield 5 was really good, because the slide was good, and you honestly didn't have to build up a ton of speed. So like, if I came around a corner, I got a kill, maybe there was a tank or too many enemies that I didn't think I could handle, I could slide quickly, reloading at the same time, back behind cover. It just felt like I didn't have one of those moments where sometimes in shooters with like clunky or slower movement that your character doesn't do what you want it to do. I felt like in Battlefield 5 I could move how I wanted to. I didn't get that frustrating feeling. But slide canceling, I mean, I can do it. I can slide cancel. If you guys watch a stream on Twitch where I play Rebirth, I can slide cancel just fine. It's just kind of exhausting, and I don't know. That's just boomer mentality. It's boomer mentality, guys. I'm sorry. It's just how I am. So yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and I kind of feel silly if Big Fry still is here, because this was from one of his videos. There's a little bit of controversy when Clark, I hate to brag, but guys, I can slide. I can slide really good. That is another really good point, Thoughts, where you said they thought they were building upon the Battlefield 5 gunplay. Actually, one of the movement engineers, guys, I'm getting hot. I'm getting excited, getting sweaty. I'm going to turn on my air conditioner. Please let me know if it's loud. It shouldn't be. The RTX should help it, but yeah, let me know. One of the engineers that actually worked on the movement in the game for Battlefield 2042 said on Reddit that they are building on Battlefield 5 movement. And I don't know how you build upon Battlefield 5 movement. We didn't even talk about crouch sprinting, how that actually, it sounds silly on the surface, but I actually used it, like sneaking up on tanks and stuff, running through bushes and in little trenches and stuff like that. Seth said you can't hear it. Good. I don't think you'll be able to hear it. RTX does a decent job of taking it out. Cool. yeah, that was weird. They said they were building upon it and they took out like crouch sprinting and leaning and a bunch of stuff like that. So I don't know how you build upon something by removing a lot of it first. That's weird. The thing I wanted to talk about with the Arma controversy, and what I mean by, I'll explain what I mean by that. And I just want to talk about the reason I want to play it. I haven't been a big Arma player, so if you guys want to talk about Arma, I'm not really that well versed into it. Why you're all sweaty? I've been watching Crash Games. So yeah, why I wanted to talk about it is it's a smaller studio, and we've seen how sometimes like marketing and things can really spread, especially if they're successful. And sometimes new ones come along, and I feel like this is a new one. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't play Arma. There's a couple things that I think are significant when it comes to this, and why it's worth talking about just a little bit. Couple things. One of the things is that it's a more indie hardcore game, and it's in console. It made it to console. So I think that is super cool, and I hope that's a trend that continues. That's one of the trends, and why I think it's significant that this is a more hardcore milsim game. It's coming to console. Now I know I have heard, and Big Fry mentioned in his videos, that there are several hardcore Arma fans that think that it could get more casualized by being on console. And I think mainly this comes down to the controls, right? Like there's just a lot more buttons on a keyboard and stuff like that. But I think there is a large need, as Seth is saying in the chat, that they need games like this to come to console. I hope more indie games, and I say indie loosely, non-AAA games. This game still has like a publisher and stuff, I'm pretty sure, with Bohemia. But I hope this trend continues of getting more hardcore shooters to console. There's a lot of people, I think, get YouTube Premium, Crash. Kidding me? So yeah, that's the one thing that I think is good overall for the first-person shooter community as a whole. I think that's a good idea. That's a good deal to get more of these games to console. I know games like World War 3, a lot of people would love to have it. Yeah, and that's a really good point, Medov. Console has mouse and keyboard compatibility. I know when we had Get Flanked on the show, he talked about how that would be really cool to get Tarkov on console. Just make it to where you had to use mouse and keyboard. The developers can do that. Yeah, my production team sucks. Crash is doing in-video ads. Yeah, right. Think anybody would sponsor this disaster? Get real. So yeah, the other notable point about the game that I wanted to talk to, and why it could be weird if this takes off and why it's different, is this game is essentially an early access build of the next game of Arma 4, right? So what they're doing is they're putting out the engine for the community to build the games. I don't know if there's any content, honestly. It pretty much relies wholly on the community building the experience, building the maps. Like think Battlefield, but if Portal came out and it was just like the custom part of Portal, there were no official experiences or anything like that. It was just like you had to build your own game. That's essentially what this is, and they're charging what some would consider a full price for it. Now, that's where I think people are getting it's ruffling a few feathers, is how the game still needs built, like the experiences still need built. There was a lot of work done. There's a new engine upgrade, assets and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting because it's a game that the community still needs to build maps and experiences and games and run servers and stuff on, and then they still charge full price, which I think is a little sketchy. It's almost like, and I can see where it could be characterized like this, right? Sometimes it gets characterized like, we need more money to finish our game, so we're going to put out what we have to get a little boost of money to maybe finish these things out. On the plus side, they're going to get a lot of feedback. They're going to see how this engine works, and it could and should make Arma 4 better, right? So yeah, I agree with you, Thoughts. It should have been around $20 because yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done before you can even enjoy it. So I just think it's interesting, and we're going to see how successful it is. I just want to say this is something that, for those of us that kind of follow the first-person shooter industry a little bit, something we should keep our eye out, because this is a model. As we know, other studios and publishers adopt these things if they work out. So it could be such a thing, you know. I mean, you start to see, you know, a game like World War 3 coming out. It only has a couple maps, and they release like a 0.5 version and say, you know, this is $20 and this is the precursor, so we can take feedback on the next one. It's kind of interesting. It's a new way to kind of look at early access, right? Like that's why I think it's interesting and something we should keep an eye on. I didn't want to talk about Arma too much, but I just kind of wanted to frame it. From that standpoint. That is something we should keep our eye on, because it's a new monetization practice, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for the community, as well as developers, because it is a new engine, but it's essentially kind of a stopgap title until Arma 4, and I'm not 100% sure, honestly, how I feel about that. So it's a little weird, but yeah. Next thing I wanted to talk about, and the last thing on the list, guys, thank you so much for being here. I super appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. It's so cool that there's like 23 people, 27 likes, people that want to hang out and talk about video games with me. Super fucking awesome. So what I want to talk about to end it up before we do a little bit of a chat Q&A session is World War 3 stress test. How did it go? Survey says shitty. And that makes me sad, because again, I've said many times that I'm rooting for this game and I want it to do well, and here is what they said about it. The thing, I'm frustrated, as we talked about it a lot last week. We talked about how we're rooting for this game, but we're still seeing network issues that we were seeing back in 2018. 2018 is since they've been working on this game, or I mean, they probably worked on it before. That's when it released the first time. So they were working on it even prior to 2018. We're still seeing some of those issues. And I really think that this illustrates how big of a pain in the ass it is for net coding to work and to keep working. But anyway, this is what they said. World War 3 public stress tests are intended to help us squash bugs and pinpoint areas to improve. However, the game's performance over the week fell short of the standards we want to uphold. True. We apologize to all the players who expected a weekend of free online play and were left disappointed. This has happened every stress test. Here's what we're doing to make it up to you. Login issues for new players have been fixed. The public stress test will be intended till May 25. So if you're watching this live or soon after it's been uploaded, you can still play the game on PC. 50% XP boost, originally any today, will be reactivated from May 24th to 25th after more maintenance. We know you hear it a lot, but we truly appreciate your patience as we continue to improve World War 3. Your playtime and feedback are invaluable to us. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoy the extended public stress test. The World War 3 team. So it'll be interesting to see how it's working now. Again, there's probably not going to be as many people on it because we're during the week. The weekend is over. Unfortunately, as we know, today was a Monday. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm just ready for one of these to work out. If you guys haven't seen Big Fry's video about World War 3, it was awesome. He was on an insider session where they talked about the monetization practices, and they talked about several times how they want to make sure it's not pay to win. So they wanted to make sure that they wanted to make sure that the cosmetics stay the microtransactions you can buy stay mostly cosmetic. There are weapon blueprints you can buy, but to make it not pay to win, you can't customize them. The blueprints that you buy are what they are. You can't change attachments and stuff on them until you get to the level that would normally unlock that gun anyway. So just, if you guys haven't seen his video, I would definitely recommend checking it out, because it gave me a lot of hope. Honestly, it got me re-excited about World War 3, because as I've said in the past, if they do the monetization right, it will be the first game that's come out in a really long time to where I think that the the cosmetics and everything are going to be absolutely fucking on point. Being able to customize your soldier so it can feel like you're in the battle, dress him or her how you want to, I think is amazing. And it opens a lot of doors for cosmetics and stuff like that. So for microtransactions, so the company benefits, we benefit, we get a game that feels immersive, that we enjoy playing, that we get attached to our character. And a lot of the monetization stuff sounded good. If this game can get if this game can add some maps, this game can add some modes, and this game can get the network stuff figured out, we'll be playing a little World War III for sure. So yeah, we're rooting for it. Again, I got really excited watching Big Fry's video because if they stick to what they say in their monetization briefing, what they want to do moving forward, it sounds really good, honestly. And what it sounded like from his timing and what they were talking about timing, I thought maybe that the open beta was coming in June. This stress test, I could definitely see delay in it. Their proposed date. I think honestly, what they have all of the monetization stuff and the storefronts kind of ready to go. They showed those off. So I feel like once they get one of these stress tests to be successful, then I think we'll see the game come out. They've had a lot of chances. People disenfranchised with 2042. People at the time weren't very excited about Battlefield 5 when they were initially released. They've had windows, and I hope they can capitalize on this one, guys. I really, really do. So yeah, we just got to root for them to get the networking stuff figured out, be building some maps in the background while the networking team's working on that. Then we'll have a damn game. So it's close. They're doing a lot of stuff right, and I hope they can get it together, man. Hopefully they can get it together. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I had for the prepared stuff. Right at an hour, so that's pretty good. Not bad for a solo internet idiot. Yeah, so if there's anything you guys want to talk about, I think for a few minutes here we could do some chat Q&A if you guys want to before we call it. And then again, real quick, guys, a couple announcements if you guys likely weren't here at the beginning. Buff Nerd Gaming will be on next week. Check out his channel if you guys want a little primer about what we're going to be talking about. Really excited to have him on a week from today. And then I have a new membership tier for 99 cents instead of $5. The economy, man, times are tough. It's a lot cheaper. This channel's shitty, so it makes sense. So 99 cents, $12 a year. You can support the channel if you want to. Definitely not required at all. So that's there. And then, yeah, it shows a podcast. Again, the VOD. If you missed it, the VOD goes up on the Scope YouTube channel. Link in the description. Drop a sub there, but only if you kind of like this more long form content and stuff like that. Trying to get the VODs, help have YouTube help find a audience that likes the long form content, podcast type stuff a little bit better. Crash bucking the inflation. True. Yeah, this is the Q&A. So any guys questions or comments that you guys have, I'll just talk to chat for just a little bit here, and we'll see how it goes. Danny says, I feel like our only hope is Modern Warfare 2 at this point. I used to play anymore 2042. Man, I'm not enjoying 2042. I've tried it several times, and I mean, I have incentive to play it. Like if I make Battlefield content on my channel, it does way better than anything else. And I can't play it, man. It makes me sad. Hopefully I've had a long enough break from Battlefield. Some of the older games will feel good again. Like we said, Battlefield 5 and 1. Yeah, it seems to have settled at 2K players. Yeah, and it honestly hasn't recovered from the 4.1 update, right? Like it dropped off for the update and then it was all buggy and stuff, and then it hasn't really recovered. Oh, also one more thing. I will be live tonight, pretty sure, in a couple hours over on twitch.tv/crash8. Crash the number 8. We'll be live over there probably later tonight. I've been playing a little bit of Rebirth Island, Tarkov, and Rainbow Six Siege. So one of those three more than likely will be playing over there if you guys just want to come hang out, have a drink. Also played about 10 hours of duos with Buff Nerd on Saturday. We ran into cheaters like 90% of the games. Hopefully Ricochet gets updated with Reloaded. Yeah, I hope so. It seems like every time they do. Yo, David Brown, thank you for the membership, my friend. Super, super kind of you. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the new emotes and your cigar badge. I appreciate that. We should be careful about more expectations. Not very much like deja vu. True, Medov. Yeah, true, dude. The 2042 debacle taught us a lot. It taught us a lot about how to curb our expectations and wait till we see what we see. That makes sense. Thought says, I feel sorry for Crash building his channel on Battlefield. Oh, yeah, I catch myself moping around about it. Like, I wish I would have, picked a different game and stuff. But honestly, guys, like the people that stuck around and stuck with the channel, you guys that are here right now are so fucking awesome. I'm cool with it, man. I wouldn't do it any different. We're good here, dude. We got some awesome people. The community that I have, unparalleled. You guys are fucking awesome. I don't think you're more intuitive, but it will definitely be the best FPS of this year. It's going to be interesting thoughts. I'm going to try to. So we talked about this with Big Fry a little bit, like how the novelty of multiplayer shooters have wore off, where it was kind of like, it was originally just kind of like, dude, I can shoot somebody in a video game that's I can play with somebody that's like far away and it's against another person. That was so cool. Like when it first happened. That's wearing off. So I'm going to be looking to things like, I still play a little bit of Gunfight in Modern Warfare 2019. Those round-based single life game modes where you get that little bit of adrenaline pumping, you got the opportunity to clutch it up, search and destroy, stuff like that. I'm going to try to focus on that with Modern Warfare 2, to be honest with you. Because those games like Siege and stuff where I still get that little bit of adrenaline, that single life. So I'm hoping Modern Warfare 2 delivers on that. I'm going to focus on that this go around. I honestly think TDM, domination, hardpoint, that stuff for me, that ship has sailed, man. I don't enjoy those respawn game modes, but I'm hoping the search and destroy is good. Danny says, "Say strong, guys. I appreciate you still being here and trying to give us updates and hope." Hey, I appreciate you being here, man. It would be way less fun if I was just sitting in my office talking to my camera to nobody. You guys make it a lot of fun. Again, that's what this podcast came from, right? Like, saw the writing on the wall with 2042. I still don't know, like, if I want to make videos, right? Like, I love making videos and reading your guys' comments and answering the comments and talking about them. It's so fun for me. And it's like, if I wanted to make a 2042 video, what would I talk about? For the last several months, there's nothing to talk about. Again, I've said this podcast gives me at least a reason. At least once a week, I'm making a video, and it's this one. So, away she goes. But appreciate you guys. What's the point in buying a blueprint if it's not pay to win? There is that opportunity, Anthony, and I mean, it's like, in World War III, it is like, it's kind of essentially what Modern Warfare 2019 did. If they come out, it depends on how the guns operate, right? Like if it's all well balanced and pretty good and stuff like that, it's not going to be a problem. But if they do like Call of Duty, sometimes I would argue is pay to win every once in a while. They do an update with a new gun and it's incredibly strong and you can buy the blueprint on the battle pass. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. But I think it's best case scenario because you knew they were going to do something like that. They had to do something like that. Seth says, can we talk about Hell Let Loose on console? It's an amazing game. I'm glad we have it. T17 is treating console like booty. No server browser, new maps, barely in rotation, bugs unfixable for months. Oh, dang. Seth, I'm honestly not familiar about Hell Let Loose. I need to maybe find a Hell Let Loose creator or something to have on as a guest. I think that's a really cool game. I just got so tired of World War II. Not that game's fault at all, and I've heard a lot of good things about that game. So yeah, I would need to get some more information on that game. I really should. Logan the Brawler Gaming just posted a video. Seems like he knows a lot that we don't know. I'll have to check it out. Rick. Here's why BR is so popular, along with the luck factor. Right, thoughts. And that's why I like Rebirth, right? Like we talked about it with Big Frat last week. Like I hate like the lull and the boring part that comes along with battle royales, that middle part where you're just looting and running around and stuff. Rebirth takes that out. It's kind of a TDM one life type thing in the beginning, and then if you do well in that and you are doing well enough to reward yourself in the end, boom, you get that same final circle experience, one life mode. You get the adrenaline pumping. Yeah, and you just get there a lot quicker. I like that. I'm with you. Crash making the grand return of Battlefield University. Oh, dude, thoughts. Battlefield University makes me so sad, dude. I had so many plans. Seth L asks, vlogs upcoming. I have recorded a couple IRL videos. I honestly recorded one a couple weeks ago, shooting my suppressor. I have, as you guys can see in the back, I have a couple suppressed guns. And I recorded a video talking about the difference between subsonic and supersonic ammo and suppressors and how they're kind of not portrayed that way in video games. I made a video about that outside, but I haven't put it out yet. But I have it in the can. I don't know if people would like it or not. I've never watched Handler play S&D. I'll definitely look that up. S&D sounds really fun. Because I've been playing a lot of Siege, and something that's not as crazy as Siege would be pretty fun. Why are you buying a blueprint? Trying to wrap my head around it. Oh, the blueprints, Anthony asked, let's just say the guns are perfectly balanced. Why would you buy a blueprint? Trying to wrap my head around it. A lot of times the blueprints, if they're like they are in Call of Duty, and I think they are from what we saw in Big Fry's video, they also have some really cool skins and cosmetics too. So they'll look cool. So like, you know, like Call of Duty, you can buy the Godzilla STG 44. Still shoots the same. You can still build an STG 44 to shoot the same as that one, but this one looks like Godzilla and has blue tracers. So I think the blueprints are going to have cosmetic skins and stuff like that too. Crash the ballistician. No. Players need some education on the subject. Yeah, Medov. I've been hesitant to put it out because there's also going to be a segment of the larger firearm community that'll be like, stop trying to stick video games in with real firearms. It's not the same thing. But I don't know. I just haven't put it out yet. I'm thinking about it. I need to edit it. It wouldn't take very long. I think another modern game will just make the game look up modern, but large scale. Yeah, I think so. Thoughts? I do. Post the suppressor vids. I'm too lazy to get my trust notarized, so I still don't own any suppressors. It's a process. It's a process, that though. It really is. It's a process to get one. That's why I got one that fits on several of my guns, so I can just get one and put it on the different firearms. But it's pretty interesting how like the suppressor is like quiet with subsonic and how loud it actually cracks with supersonic ammo, and it comes across in the microphone really cool. And it's not for every game, but I feel like games like Tarkov, where they strive for that realism and the audio and stuff like that, should really have some kind of balancing mechanic to make the subsonic ammo worth it in the game. It's pretty cool. Never saw people like operator skins more than blueprints. It's first person. All you see is a gun. Yeah, true, Justin. True. Except me, and the only reason I do in Warzone is I bought this. I'm a sucker for cowboy hats in games. I think it's hilarious to wear a cowboy hat. So if I see an operator skin with a cowboy hat, I'm knowing that I'm running around looking like a goofball. So I bought the skin in Warzone that looks like Joe Exotic with the cowboy hat, with like a trench coat and cheetah print and a cowboy hat, and I know that I'm running around looking silly, and it makes me think I'm funny. Yeah, I think so, Seth. The game, it'd be more directed at Tarkov, where they really strive for that. But I also think it would be a cool balancing mechanism for your suppressor to truly keep you off the map. That you have to have like a quiet. You have to do subsonic ammo for it to truly work, and you get some nerfs to your gun like that. Operator skins is going to change how hard and easy it is to get spotted. That is true too. Yeah, that is true too. Some of the operator skins really make you blend in really well. What do you think when do you think the next Battlefield release is going to be? Rex says 2024. I'm honestly not sure. I want to say that somewhere some executive and the board of directors somewhere along the line is going to say, if Call of Duty really does not have a title in 2023, they're going to try to push Battlefield to do that, to cover that gap. I think that would be best case scenario. I could see them pushing for a 2023 release, honestly, next year. That's based on nothing concrete. That's just out of my butt completely just speculation, 100% speculation. But the D-Day is Buff's favorite operator too. This is a different one. I ran the D-Day one with the cowboy hat for a long time, but there's another one in one of the World War II operators. I can't remember who it is, but he just looks silly and has a cowboy hat, so I went with it. Speculator, true. Wrong. Games. Rushing to release the Battlefield in 2032 in the Battlefield. Dude, it might. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you just look at it from their standpoint, if it's like they see this massive gap in the market with no Call of Duty, man, I could see him. I could see him really pushing for that. But ideally, it would be 2024. They need a little bit of time. But it's just all it takes is a few high up people, a few big investors, a few people on their board, their investment board, to say, hey, you guys got to do this, and they'll have to do it. And that's the problem with these larger companies, man. Developers don't get to call the shots. Dude, it seems like that, David, that they can't help but fumble their games. Yeah. They put Rex says they put out 2042 and still not half done. If they do, it will be the same as 2042. Yeah, I think so. I think that's too fast to get a game done. But I don't care. David Brown says, I don't care how many devs you throw at these games, it doesn't make the titles any better. Yeah, the mechanics have to be there to start off with, right? Like if the publisher's telling them to put all this stuff in the game because it's hip and trending at the time, doesn't mean it's going to be a good game. Yeah, I think so too. Medoff says they could just do a BF3 remaster and make us happy. That's why I think you're going to see a lot of BF3 content come to Portal to get people to come back. I really do. Guys can make a good game again. I'm not sure. Thoughts? I would sure think so. I would sure think that the Steam Studios, that is, with the history that it's had, that they could. I think they need some middle management that can help shield them from EA. And I think they need enough time to get their job done. We'll see how they are. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if the working from home thing was a valid excuse. They're going back into the office. You can see on Twitter. So we're gonna see what they can do back in the office. If the pandemic and staying from home, working from home, was really an issue, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, first impressions mean a lot, David, and they don't have a very good one. That's 100% sure. I miss BF4 too. I know, and when I go back to play Battlefield 4, if like the nostalgia and the atmosphere hits so good, it feels so good, and then that movement is just so dated. Like some things about it are so dated. Yeah. Thoughts. Current dice is made of mostly new people, right? According to Tom. Yeah, and also my video, I helped Tom crunch those numbers on that video, and yeah, like I said in my video, there's only one person that worked on the maps that was there before Battlefield 5. So especially the map team was all really new to the franchise. Battlefield 4 looks good even 4K. Yeah, Battlefield 5 is stunning. Battlefield 1 has that has that atmosphere, man. I don't know. I feel like the visual fidelity in 2042 is a pretty big step back from Battlefield 5, but that's just my opinion. But I think a lot of people wish that, David. He says, I wish 2042 was just an up-res BF4. Yeah, I think so. Sethel says, as a software engineer, I'm never going back into an office. Yeah, and that's not bad. A lot of jobs can be done from home. I'm in the same way. I much prefer working from home now. I agree with you, Rec. I want the movement from Battlefield 5 too. It's the best. Yeah, Seth says, software engineer Seth says, but making games is a little bit different. True. There needs to be some collaboration there, and I feel like everybody working on the same project that's that complicated could definitely have some issues from working from home, for sure. But anyway, guys, I think I'm probably going to end it there. Really appreciate the conversation. We did chat Q&A for like 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much. Really good viewership tonight. It was a lot of fun, man. I was nervous again. I always get nervous doing them by myself, that they're going to be terrible, and my brain doesn't work. My brain doesn't work very well. David says no photogrammetry, which they use on the others. Hey, photogrammetry, that's what I do at work sometimes. Battlefield is given to a different studio. Yeah, I wish it would at this point. But we haven't given the new leadership chance. So maybe with Rebecca Kutaz and Vince Zampella and Marcus Leto, they'll turn it around. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Thank you, Clark, for being here. David, Sadballs, and David, thank you guys for the new 99-cent memberships. Super, super, super kind of you to support this disaster. I really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, thank you for the 33 likes. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Thoughts, for being here. Thank you, everybody who participated in the Q&A. It was awesome. I don't know about that, Seth. But yeah, guys, holy shit. Thank you for being here. It was a lot of fun. Again, next week, you may as well just give membership away. Well, I mean, the channel's terrible. So this is what it is, man. That's what it's called. That's what it's worth. Take care, Crash. Say hi to the doggies. I will do that. There's that. There's that. Yeah. Make some sous vide steak. Heck yeah, man. That's what I'm gonna go eat right now. So yeah, trying to think if there's anything else. Next week, same time, same channel, be here. We'll have Buffner Gaming on. Probably going to talk a little bit more about Call of Duty and anything that comes up. He also looks like he plays Insurgency and some other games like that. And yeah, it was super fucking fun. This VOD will go live up onto the Scope channel, YouTube channel, probably tomorrow. And then we will have the audio will be up on the podcast apps for Justin later on. Yeah, next week will be a ton of fun. We'll have a guest. Be great. Can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.